All right, so you are ready to create your first blog post. You've gone through the process of signing up, you've put in your join code, and you should have whatever your hour is right up here. So I'm just using first hour right now to make life easier for everybody. You'll see I already have a couple of posts that are here. If you want to take a look at those, you can certainly click on one. And this is just talking about what we're going to be doing with our digital portfolio and blog. And I want to go back to first hour. I use the breadcrumb menu. Here's my About Me post, and this is the first assignment that you will have in KidBlog, is writing just a brief About You post. So I'm back in first hour. This is the main dashboard. Some things for you to look at as you're working with KidBlog. Right here are the members. So as you start to join, this will fill up. Here are the different categories that you'll be using, and we'll be talking about that as we create our first post. You can see in this widget right here that we've had 51 views of our blog and kind of where we are at. And we've got a link just to General Kid Blog, and there are some tags that I've already used, and the connections. So you can see that all of the other classes are following the other classes and are followers of each other. So all 4 of my classes are connected together. So what you're going to do when you're ready to make a new post is you're going to click on the blue New Post button, and you'll see that a new post has opened up. As we look at the screen, you'll see up here we have Cancel, Draft, Review, Publish. We'll come back to those in just a little bit. We have the Add Header Image, Space, Enter a Title, and then the What You See is What You Get, or WYSIWYG box where you're actually going to type your post, and then some formatting things that you can use. So we're going to start with the header image. You should have a header image that matches what you are doing in your blog post. It just adds a little bit of creativity and some just pop to your blog post. So when you click on Add Header Image, you're going to see that it opens up your media library. And you can see I have a lot of different images already from previous blog posts that I've done. You can look at headers that are ones from KidBlog, and this would be a great place to start, just something to pick from general. You can choose from your computer, and you can choose a file or you can drag a file from your computer. You can link to a URL. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. If you have a webcam enabled computer or device, you could take a current picture, or you could have a Google Drive attachment. I'll show you how to do that in just a few minutes. So you have different ways of getting computer images from your computer into your header space. I'm just going to pick one of the headers that's already there because it's just a little bit easier right now. And I kind of like, oh, I like these knitted socks. That's awesome. And so it comes up over here, and you'll see CC by Via, Flickr Via, and then the name of the person who owns the picture. This CC, Creative Commons, is super important, and we'll talk about that again in just a couple of minutes. So I'm going to insert this image, and you can see now that picture has just popped in here up by my header. And now I need to enter a title, and what's important about the title is that the title matches what you want to say in your post. You don't want something super random here. I like ice cream, and then your post is all about what you feel about school and school lunches. So your first post is going to be an About Me post, and you're going to need to write an introduction of some kind. So I'm just going to call this post All About Me, and I'm going to put like 1,000 exclamation points because I am important. Now you'll notice that this Draft, Review, Publish is still sitting up here. You can't do anything with them. I could cancel it now if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. As soon as I click into my What You See is What You Get box, and I start to type something, you'll see that these options are now available. I can save this as a draft. I can review this and I can see what it's going to look like when it's published, and I can publish this to the world. Remember, your blog posts are published to the world, so you want to make sure they are the best representation of you as they possibly can be. So check that grammar, punctuation, and spelling. Make sure that you're school appropriate and you're not sharing any data that would compromise your safety and security. So I'm going to just delete this here, and I'm just going to write a few things about myself. I have been a teacher for over 20 years, and I really enjoy working with 8th graders. Now, some options I have here, if I can type this right into this box, maybe I wasn't at a place where I could do my blog post or type access into KidBlog, so I decided to type something in Google Docs, or I typed something into Word. I could go into Word, I could go into Google Docs, I could highlight, I could copy, and I could paste it right in here, and then just play with the formatting a little bit. If I wanted to, I can change the colors of my font. That's the great thing about blogging, is I can make the font a little bit bigger if I want to. It defaults to 16, but there it's 24. There it's 32. Don't want to get too big. I can change the color of my font. The thing you want to remember about changing the color of your font is that you're changing it to something that's readable. The background is going to be white or cream color, so changing it to yellow is going to make it really hard for the reader to read what you're posting. So pick a more neutral color. You can change the font sizes. You can play a little bit with what you want to do. You can bold things, teacher. You can underline things, 20 years. You can do lists. You can center things. If you don't like the way you did something, you can just undo it. And now I'm back to yellow, which I really don't like, so now I'm at the pink again. You can add hyperlinks. So if I wanted to link to a different blog, or if I wanted to link to a website, I can do a hyperlink. I can connect this to my Google Drive, and the nice thing about connecting this to my Google Drive is that if I have pictures saved on my Google Drive, that's an easy way to import those either into my blog post or into my header image. And then the upload button allows me to do the same thing, to move a file in or to move a picture in that's on my computer within my actual post, not just the header image. So I've decided this is all I'm going to write. I think I've shared enough information. Now, what do I want my background here to look like? So I can change my background color to something that is more suitable to me, something that I prefer. There's lots of different options. I kind of like this dark purple. I think I'm going to change my pattern though. Oh, this one's kind of cool. Oh no, that's way too busy. That's way more distracting. Nobody's even going to read my blog post. That's kind of nice and subtle. I like this kind of square, prismy, almost 3D thing. I can change the font of my title. So this right here where it says All About Me is my title font, and it's currently in Patrick Hand SC. I could change that to audio wide, and that makes it look a little bit different. Bubblegum Sans. That's kind of cool. I like that one. And then my post font, this right here is Maven Pro. I can change that to PT Sans. I can change that to Roboto. Okay, so now I can change the font, I can change the color, I can change the size, so that gives me some of that creativity. On an iPad, I'll be able to add emojis. I don't have emoji access on my computer, but I'll be able to add emojis. The next thing that I want to talk about is I want to talk about tags. So, well, actually, you know what? I'm going to skip tags for right now, and I'm going to go to categories. Every post that you do for your digital portfolio and blog needs to be connected to a category. So when you do your book reviews, you are going to select the book review category. When you are doing your About Me post, for example, this is going to be an assignment for English, so I'm going to pick the English category. When I do my book reviews, as I said, it's going to be both book review and English. As I'm writing reflections and showcasing my work in global studies, I'll do global studies and reflection, math and reflection. There's also, you'll see this personal creations category. I picked that because I know many of you are creative outside of school. You like to draw, you create movies, you are writers, you are poets, you do all of these things. And part of this digital portfolio is showcasing the best of you. So for the personal creations, that's just an opportunity for you to share things about yourself and the activities that you like to do. That anything in personal creations is not graded in any way, shape, or form. The posts that you do for the math, global studies, science, and electives showcasing your work and the reflection, that's going to be graded based on do you have a reflection and what's the quality of grammar, usage, and mechanics. The same with this About Me post. It's an English grade and it will be assessed on quality and grammar, usage, and mechanics. Your book reviews, you have the rubric for those criteria. So for right now, I'm just going to choose the English category because that's the class it's going to be in. Now tags, you're most likely familiar with tags or hashtags from the other social media that you use. And so what I'd like you to think about with tags, they're not required, but they are helpful. This is About Me. So I'm going to type About Me, comma, introduction, comma, teaching, because I'm talking about teaching, and I talk about 8th grade. So all those tags are ones that I can add, and all I did was separate them by commas, and that puts them in down here. So I have my post. I filled it out the way I want to. I want to take a look at it before it gets published, though. So I'm going to click the review button. And what that will do is it saves it, and now I can look at my blog post. This is what it's going to look like when it gets published to the world. Here is my header image. Here is my All About Me title. This is my byline with the date. I do have my avatar. And then here's my post. I have been a teacher for over 20 years. I really enjoy working with 8th graders. Category English, tags 8th grade, About Me, teaching, introduction. And so that's my post. Now, if you look back up here on the corner, I've got status review, I've got edit, and I can go back into edit and I can change the things that I want to change. Because you know, this is talking about teaching and my header image is all about socks and knitting, and I didn't write anything about that. So I'm going to get rid of that image. I'm going to go back into my header options and I'm going to find something that I might be able to consider school related. So as I'm looking, there's all sorts of neat, nifty things here that I can do. Well, look at that puppy. That puppy is so cute. It's not really music. Lots of music things. Oh, look, colored pencils. We use pencils in school, so guess what? Pencils it is. So now I'm going to insert that image, and I have that right there. Okay. Now again, when I go back to the header image, remove that one and add one, I just want to point out to you again what I was talking about with Creative Commons. So let me pick a different image. Just, ooh, look at that chocolate. Just for the sake of picking images. Where did my pencils go? All right, I'll go with the seats in the stadium. So over here where it says license, CC BY via Flickr via Matthew Roth. When you do your header images and any pictures that you include in your blog post, if it's not Creative Commons or Pixabay or something that's license free, you're going to need to cite it in your source. So some examples that I do give you in one of my posts is Pixabay.com. These are all public domain images, so you don't have to worry about citing those, and the same with Creative Commons. So I do allude to both, give you information on both of those in one of my posts. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cancel this, and where it says status review, I'm going to actually trash this post so I can show you the one that I already created. So I'm going to go back to Campia First Hour, and About Me is my paragraph, or is my post. So you can see I've got some yarn up here, so chances are I'm going to be talking about knitting, which, oh my gosh, I do. So I have welcome to my intro blog post, and this is a lot. These are the things that I like to do outside of school. Notice I have categories, reflection, and introduction about me. What I notice is I need to change that because I need to make sure that I include in my category English, because this is an English assignment, and I want to include teaching, reading, knitting, because those are my 3 things that and exercising. I cannot forget exercising. Those are the things that I do and are mentioned in my post. And so now I update. So now my post is updated, and you can see it's got my categories and it's got my tags. Eventually we will be talking about commenting, but for right now I want you to focus on posting. So when I go back, I have my Welcome to Digital Portfolio and Blog and my new updated About Me post. And as you start to post, you'll start to see yours and everybody else's posts filter in here. If you have questions about any of this, there is a presentation that you'll find in Schoology. In the English 8 resources folder, there is a blogging resources folder, and you'll find this information, including a link to this screencast for you to use to help you as you're doing your work.